this is Anshul, and I'm creating this video which is about Google Test, and this is the first video on setting up Google Test in Visual Studio. So Google Test is actually a framework which can be used for testing your application, and it is used for TDD. Okay, so basically what you can do is you can while you're developing your application, you can actually write the code, and you can also write the test cases which will actually help you to test your application. So this video is going to cover the installation of Google Test on your machine, and right now on the screen you can see that I've actually searched for Google Test GitHub. And what I need to do is I need to click on this link, okay, and then click on this, and then click or download this, right? So there are different options and there are different ways by which you can actually download Google Test. This is one of these ways. There is another way to do it. So there are a couple of ways. So if you have Segwit installed, you can actually use the command line to download Google Test Framework, and in this case the other mechanism that you can actually use is GitHub Desktop, which is another application which is used for cloning so it is a repository, right? So you can download the code and check in your code and all of those things. Okay, so here you can see I've already downloaded these files on my machine, and what I will do is I will show you the location where I have downloaded these. So under my GitHub directory under the GitHub directory I have this Google folder, and this is the place where I've actually downloaded all of these files. Okay, now what you need to do at this point is you will have to go to Google Test and go to MSVC 2010 and then Google Test.solution. Okay, so it's going to open this folder, and I'm going to close this. I don't want to take the survey, that's going to take a lot of time. So we have the GTest application over here. Okay, and for the first time when you actually open this, now this is the second time when I'm opening this, and when you open it for the first time, it is going to ask you to update Visual Studio, and so you just have to go and click yes and update it. Okay, now the next step, once you open this file, is to go and build it. Okay, so we will actually select release from the drop down over here and then go to build. I'm going to clean the solution because I've already built it earlier, so I'm just going to clean it, and then I'm going to rebuild. Before I go ahead, you will there's one thing that you need to do which is important, and you need to go to GTest, right click, go to properties, and then you need to go to code generation and make sure that this is set to empty. Okay, now there are different flags which are used for compilation. At this point, I'm using multi-threaded. You can also use multi-threaded debug and multi-threaded DLL and DLL debug. Okay, so there are these different options over here. I'm actually going to use multi-threaded in this case, and then I will click OK, and now I'm ready to build this. So I will click on rebuild, and we will just wait for the files to get compiled. So in this window down here, you can actually see which files are getting compiled. So it's going to do its magic, and you'll have a compiled library. Okay, so once this is done, you will actually get a compiled library of Google Test, and that library can be loaded with the testing applications. So I'll walk you through an example once you know this is done. So it is still compiling. And there it is. So the build succeeded, 0 failed, and 0 skipped. So this is good. Now what I will do at this point is I will go and click on new, and then click on project. Okay. Now here's the thing: your library is already built. What you need to do at this point is create a dummy application and test if everything is working fine. So let's say I will call this application as GT test version 3, okay, or version 2 for example, and then I click OK. Okay, so I created a console application. Now I will just include the basic header files which are used everywhere. So let's include iostream, and now I will say include gtest slash gtest dot h. Okay. Now at this point, it's going to give me this wiggly line over here, right? So we'll go through that. Let me write out the test application. This is test let's say GT test, and I will say true. Okay, and here I will call one of the Google test functions, which is assert underscore true, and I will say true over here. Okay, now you see a lot of wiggly braces, and that is because it cannot find the source files, right? So now you need to give the source files in this case. So I will right click on this and then click on properties, and at this point I will go to VC++ directories, click over here, click on edit, and then I will locate the file, and in this case I have it under GitHub, Google, okay, and then Google test, and now I need the include file. So this is where my include files are stored, right? So if I go inside this, I have the gtest folder, and inside this I have, so it's not showing all the files, but we have the gtest file over here. Okay, so I'll just select include and select the folder, and then click on OK. Okay, so at this point I've given it the location of my header files, and now I'm going to give it my library directories. So you go here, click on edit, okay, and then click on this, and again I'm going to GitHub, and then Google test, MSVC 2010, gtest, Windows 32 release. Okay, so this is the folder that we need. You don't have to go further than this, so I will simply select Windows 32 release and then select the folder, just to show you the library files are located over there. So I'm in MSVC 2010, and then I go inside gtest, Windows 32 release, and here is your library, right? That was compiled. Okay, so once I do this, I will click on OK. So now I have given it the path for my library directory at this point. And then I need to give the linker. Okay, so I need to specify which libraries I'm going to use in this case. And let me show you the directory quickly. So these are the two files, the lib.lib and _main.lib. These are the two files, the libraries that we are going to use. So I will say gtest.lib, and this will be gtest_main.lib. Okay, and I click on OK, apply. Now there's one more thing that we need to do, which is code generation, and you can see here it is set to MDD, right? So I'm going to change this. I'm going to make it empty. I click on apply. I click on OK. Alright, so I think we have loaded most of our files and given it the proper paths. So this should load, and we can test that by going to build, and I'll just rebuild solution. So we have some linker errors over here, and it says debug level. So this is the issue with empty static release and all of that stuff. So I will have to again go back over here to build, and I will clean this solution. And once I do this, I'll need to go to build, so give me a second over here quickly. Okay, so I found the issue, and it is I was making it as a debug file output, and we want to create a release because that's what we did earlier. Okay, now it is again giving me all those wiggly braces. So let's go quickly do all the options and set this up. So I'm gonna go to VC++ directories, change my include path, click on edit, and then I'll go to my documents, GitHub, Google test, and include. Okay, that's done. And then the library directory, I'll edit this. And give it the path to my libraries, which will be again 2010 Google test, Win32 release. Okay, and code generation, runtime library, and this has to be changed to multi-threaded. Then go to linker, click on input, edit, and say gtest.lib and gtest_main.lib. Now I hope this compiles and it doesn't give an error again. I'll click OK. So those squiggly lines are gone now, and I will click on build, rebuild. Okay, so this is successful. Great. So once this is successful, what you can do to test this is you can actually go to debug and start without debugging. And it's going to throw some output over here. So running one test from one test case. Good. Global test environment setup. That's good. So everything is good. gtTest.assert true. That was passed and everything worked well, right? Now, one of the things that we need to do in this case is I don't want to see, the this kind of outcome, this window again and again. So a better way of doing it, where you can actually see the outcome in the window itself, is by using an extension. So here I'm going to go to tools and extensions and updates, and we will actually install the Google test, and I will search online Google test adapter. Okay, so I'm going to click on download. So it's downloaded. Okay, so once it is downloaded, I'm going to close this, and in order for our extension to start working, I will have to restart my Visual Studio. So I'm going to close Visual Studio, and then I will again open it. Okay, and then I will click on File, Recent Files, or Recent Projects and Solutions. So yeah, gtTest32, that's our project. So I'm going to load this. Okay, and now maybe I might have done something wrong. I will have to check this again. Yeah, so I think I did install it correctly. And let's just. So we are back, and this is so the reason my extension was not getting installed is because I had multiple Visual Studio applications, multiple instances started over there, and that's why it was not working. So now I have done this. There are open instances, click in tasks, okay. Alright, so now it is installing the Google Test Adapter. Back once this is done. So our installation is complete now, and I'll close this, and I will again start Visual Studio 2017. My machine seems to be loaded with a lot of stuff, I guess. It's getting a bit slow. Alright, so there we have it, and now I'm going to click on recent and then click on gtTest32.solution. Okay. did not. Okay, so there is some problem restarting Visual Studio. What is all the issue? Continue show your message. Extension. Let me see if I can get back and see if I can get the extension to work over here. Okay. Alright, so I have found the issue why it was not working. So here's what I did. I will quickly go through it. So I went to Tools, Extension, and Updates, and there was another adapter which was already installed. So that's one of the reasons why the installation was failing. And even when I uninstalled the Google Test adapter, and then so I tried to use the default adapter, it didn't really work for me. So what I did is I completely uninstalled the test adapter for Google. Okay, so this is actually Boost, but there was a test adapter for Google over here. I uninstalled it, closed it, and then I had to go to Tools and Features. Okay, click on Yes, and once it is going to load all of my products, the ones that I've installed, what I need to do is let me get this on the left hand side so that you can see this. Go to development, and there it is, right? So test adapter for Google Test. So I click on modify, and it is going to install. I will say continue. It wants to close all the Visual Studio windows which are open already. So I closed that, and once that happens, it is going to start with the installation process. I will wait for it, and I'll pause for that period. Okay, I don't have to pause, it is going to be fast. Okay, so once this is installed, it will actually give me a launch option over here, so I'm waiting for it so that it gives me that option. And there, I think I already clicked on the launch button. So I have this window which is loaded. Now I will go to Files, okay, and I will open my project. At this point, our test the Google Test adapter is installed correctly, okay, and once my project is going to load, so here you will see it's already loading this, right? So it's already running this, but it automatically started running. And essentially, if you want to run a test case, all you have to do is click on Test, Run, and click on All Tests. Okay, so it starts like this, and then the run tests are completed, and then you can see over here at the bottom. Let me just maximize this a little bit. So here you see GT test is a true, which is passed. Okay, so this is one test which is passed now, and this is the name of that test. Okay, so I hope that helps, and the next video that I'm going to make will be on how to write a test case in Google Test. Okay, thank you so much. This is Anshul, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.